business credit cards and are they worth it? Well, today we will answer all of your questions and help you decide whether you should get a business credit card or not. Now, for small, limited companies that are owner managed, the reality is that you are buying lots of things personally yourself. And whilst you may have a company debit card, I know in reality that a lot of my expenses end up on my personal debit or even credit card. And credit cards can also be quite helpful for increasing your cash flow on a short-term basis because you don't have to pay immediately. But are business credit cards worth it? Well, let's have a dive into the pros of business credit cards and the cons and help you to decide whether it's right for you or not. So firstly, the benefit of having a business credit card is that all of your transactions are organised into one place. You can simply send your credit card statement along with any supporting receipts to your accountant or bookkeeper on a monthly basis. And a lot of the online bookkeeping systems will even link digitally to your credit card statements and pull all of that information automatically for you. So business credit cards can be really, really great for keeping you organised and saving you a little bit of admin time when it comes to managing your statements and your receipts. Another really great thing about using credit cards is that you don't have to pay for anything immediately. Typically with a business credit card, you get a monthly statement based on the calendar month, and they normally take the payment from your bank account around the 20th of the month. So you get a minimum of an extra 20 days where you get to hold on to that cash flow in your business. Now, if you're a business that struggles with cash flow and you're typically wondering day to day whether you can afford expenses, then this can be a really great way of plugging a short-term temporary cash flow problem. And thirdly, a lot of the business credit cards don't charge interest as long as you pay in full on a monthly basis. So they're also a free way of getting credit too. But are business credit cards all they're cracked up to be? Well, the main thing that I don't like about business credit cards is that they can be quite difficult to get. And often a small limited company will be asked to give a personal guarantee on the credit card. That means that the director or the owner of the business is personally liable for any debts that the credit card accrues. Secondly, these credit cards often come with annual fees and high application fees. And finally, business credit cards do not come with the same level of consumer protection that you would get if it was a personal credit card in your own name. So there are still some basic levels of protection when it comes to fraud and things like that. The rules around, for example, chargebacks and consumer protection, where your credit card company takes liability for faulty services, then things like this don't apply because those rules are baked into consumer law. And when you pay for something using a business credit card, you do not get the same rights. Now, often a lot of people will say, get a business credit card and improve your business credit score. And whilst this is true, actually, business credit scores are a little bit of a myth. They don't really exist in the same way that personal credit scores exist, in that all of your financial information is shared with credit institutions such as Experian and people like that. When you're a business, then actually most of your credit score is based on your accounts that are published at Companies House, and therefore Companies House is none the wiser that you have this credit card, and therefore it doesn't actually necessarily do anything to improve your credit score. Now, all of this summed up, I personally choose to use a personal credit card in my business. I have a dedicated personal credit card that I actually use for my business expenses, and I never use for personal expenses. What that means is that I can keep all of my receipts and statements easily accessible for my bookkeeper, and it can help keep me organised, so I get that benefit. One of the benefits of using a personal credit card is I get more protection if there were fraudulent transactions or something like that. And also, there are usually no application fees or renewal fees when you have a personal credit card. But the main reason why I utilise personal credit cards over business credit cards is because you can normally always get a personal credit card with some sort of interest-free period. And this is actually quite rare with business credit cards, that you get interest-free periods, whereas with consumer cards or personal cards, they're 10 a penny. So if you've got a good credit history and you are okay with taking on the personal liability of a personal credit card and how that could personally affect your personal credit rating, then I would always recommend utilising a personal credit card over a business credit card. Now, the only thing to bear in mind is that if you do incur any charges or you do incur any interest, then these are actually yours to pay personally. But if the business owes you money as a director, you are entitled to charge the business interest. But that is a video for another time. So personal credit cards versus business credit cards. Personally, I always go for a personal credit card versus a business credit card. I always keep it separate and only use it for business purposes. I'm comfortable with taking on the personal liability and the impact that this has on my personal credit rating. And more importantly, I've just taken advantage of a 24-month interest-free purchases with a limit of £15,000, which gives me a £15,000 cash boost into my small business. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and just share this channel with one other small business owner in the UK. We make loads of free content aimed at supporting small business owners just like you who have owner-managed limited companies who want to increase their profits, improve their cash flow and grow their business.